I'm gonna show you in today's video how to be free. If you're new around here, welcome to the channel. My name is Jared Hamilton and I appreciate you coming to my page. In a little bit different kind of video today, but I really think this is what someone needs to hear. I think at the end of the day, all you really want are two things. And I really think those two things are just joy and freedom. But the problem is what you're doing right now is making it impossible to get there. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel and you are trying to end all of your struggles around all of this kind of weight lossy, changing your life kind of stuff, you'll want to stick around. So be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell. So I was watching a video from someone that I look up to a lot, and that's what got my brain working around this stuff right now, is why I'm making this video to you. You see, my favorite part about what me and my company does isn't what most other people think it would be. It's not the results. It's not the before and after pictures. It's not just fat loss stuff. It's not just clothes fitting better. Don't get me wrong, those things are part of this and those things are important and great, but at the core of what I think what we do best is give people joy and freedom. You can't have joy if you are not free around all of this stuff, if you're mentally incarcerated, so to speak. They're trapped by their body, they hate the way they look, they hate the way they feel, and they feel uncontrolled in their actions. They feel like they keep getting in their own way, they always sabotage. One thought goes astray and then all of a sudden the results in life tailspin out of control. You take you everywhere. So you take yourself as the foundational piece of your life to everything, your relationships, your money, your work, your family, your friends, your experiences. So if you aren't free with all these other things, you're taking that negative energy or whatever you want to call it everywhere. So it's no wonder your whole life starts to suffer. Most weight loss advice that you hear around the internet or from your friends and family is actually making things worse and actually making you more incarcerated. How do you achieve freedom? For me, freedom has three parts. The first part is physical. Most people are not physically free. Either they don't feel good in their own skin, they hate the way they look, they hate the way they feel, and they feel trapped inside their own body. If you can't be consistent for more than 2-3 weeks at a time, then you are not physically free. This is why you'll hear the saying that discipline equals freedom, because when you can rely on yourself and you can show up for yourself in your actions consistently over and over and over again, you will notice you will become free around your actions because you are dependable. But again, most people's plan is setting them up for failure and keeping them trapped. Setting up plans that aren't sustainable or aren't practical. Doing plans that are so overwhelming that it's breeding all of this discipline and willpower and hustle vibes, which isn't just practical at all. Now, if you aren't quite sure how to build a sustainable plan, I do have a free checklist in the description below called the Fat Loss Checklist, and I'll take care of that for you. Second piece to freedom is mental freedom. For the mental side, we have to address the two things: your identity and the stories you believe about yourself. Your identity is who you think you are. But the problem is, if your identity is made up of all these things that you don't like about yourself that someone else put into your brain when you were little, you will never achieve freedom. Think about it. If your identity is a binger and you go 2 or 3 weeks without binge eating, it's no wonder you find yourself back to binge eating because something happened. So we have to change this from the very beginning of who you actually think you are, because this is why sabotage sneaks in. Sabotage is like the thermostat on the wall. It only kicks on when the room heats up from where the setting is at. Most people are sold on some old story, either from their childhood or from someone else said to them, but you didn't put that in your head. This is why we have to address these mental faculties and these mental patterns, because that is the actions you're going to subconsciously reinforce. I know this is getting deep. If your identity is not in a good place, your subconscious actions are reinforcing the bad identity. I'm never good enough. I'll never make it. I'm not supposed to be successful. I'm a fat kid. But if we don't change your identity and the story you replay over and over and over again, your actions will always fall back to the not so great identity. And lastly, you must become emotionally free. Emotions are a beautiful thing and we're supposed to experience all of them. But too often, because of the way some people grew up, myself included, we weren't supposed to feel certain emotions. But the thing is, you're an adult now and you're in charge, and we have to do some of this rewiring mentally and emotionally to where we're allowed to feel our own feelings. Then you'll become emotionally free, you'll stop hiding your emotions with food, and then all of a sudden fat loss will just start to happen. You have to allow yourself to to feel your feelings. It's just like if you need to go to the bathroom and you hold it in, it gets really bad really quickly. This is when we have emotional breakdowns. This is when we burn out. This is when we emotionally eat. This is when just we do a lot of things that aren't very good for our lives, putting us back in emotional jail instead of freedom. Now, this is nuanced because the second part of becoming emotionally free is not believing everything you feel. Hold space, yes. Allow yourself to feel, yes. But believe everything you feel, no. Just because you feel like a lost cause doesn't mean you are a lost cause. Just because you feel unworthy doesn't mean you aren't worthy. Hold space for your emotions, yes. Allow yourself to process them. Allow yourself to just feel them with zero judgment, but don't believe everything that you feel that it's true. So if you check the boxes on those three categories, physically, mentally, and emotionally, you will be free as a whole and your life will be exponentially better and fat loss will not be that big of a deal. I hope this was helpful. If you like this kind of content, please be sure and tell me in the comments below. I love going through those. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, be sure and do that because I have so many cool videos coming for you. I'll talk to you next week.